right, guys, welcome back to another video. We have Game Pass stuff to talk about, as well as a few other things that are pretty interesting. But before we do jump into it, if you do like daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also check out my Spotify. Link is in the description. So obviously last week was a major week for the Xbox Game Pass changes, the raise in price, the changing of the tiers with Xbox Game Pass Standard coming. And I mean, I've gone over my opinions on the value of Game Pass and what I think, even with the price raises, and I will still be subscribed because of the type of gamer I am. I play tons of games and I'm looking forward to the first party content as well. But one of the ways that I enjoyed getting some extra months of Game Pass was via Microsoft rewards. And I think a lot of people are on that same page. And there was a little bit of panic over the last couple of days as to what was happening with Microsoft rewards and whether it was going away for being able to actually use your points to subscribe to Xbox Game Pass. And the reasoning behind this is because Xbox is a little wonky on their messaging, but I mean, common sense would kick in and you would kind of see how other subscription things works. When prices change, they have to stop auto subscriptions and all that stuff. But this was the message they sent out, saying your Game Pass auto redeem subscription is being discontinued. Important changes are coming to the auto redeem functionality for your Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass subscription as of August 12th, 2024. They say you will no longer be allowed to use your rewards points to fund your Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass subscriptions. If you'd like to elect another service to use rewards points for auto redemption, please visit the rewards catalog. And with that message, people were thinking that you were no longer going to be able to auto redeem them for Game Pass monthly, which is not the case. So you go back into the catalog, and the change here, which coincides with the price raise, is the increase in the amount of points you need to actually get 1 month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So it's now 14,000 points, and I believe previously was 12,000. And because of that, they take off the auto redeem on your account, so you're not being charged for something you didn't approve with the price raise, and you're going to have to go back in and select it as something that you will want to continue to use your points towards. So the functionality is still there. That's the good news. The bad news, of course, is the price raise, as well as the more points you'll need to get a single month here of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. But if you're looking for cheaper ways to get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, at least for right now, this conversion trick apparently is still working, and basically converting your core subscription to Ultimate. It does still work, and you have to have an expired subscription, which for me, it's not going to work because I have a subscription for a while. But if you have an expired subscription, you're going to be able to do this. And basically, you says here, make sure your Game Pass Ultimate subscription is expired, and then you buy a code for Xbox Game Pass Core. They say where you buy Game Pass Core from is up to you, but the cheapest place right now is CD Keys, where you can buy a whole year for $43.29. And then whether you buy 1 year or 3 years is down to your own budget. But to maximize the savings from this deal, we recommend buying the maximum of 3 years, totaling $129.87. And they say, do not purchase more than 3 years. Your Xbox will not allow you to redeem further than this. And then they say, once you have purchased it, you can redeem them on your Xbox or on the Microsoft website, taking care to not accept recurred billing each time. And if you buy 3 1-year subscriptions, do not accept any bonus months in exchange for turning on recurring billing while redeeming the codes. And this will break the process, as Microsoft does not allow more than 3 years of stacking. And then Game Pass Core, as we know, is the new Xbox Live Gold. But once you've done all of that, you can buy a code for 1 month of Game Pass Ultimate after redeeming your 3 years of Game Pass Core. And that will translate into getting Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for 3 years for $129.97. So a pretty good deal. It says here works out to about $586 per month compared to the $20 deal. So if that's still something that's available for those out there that are wondering, how can I get it cheaper than what they are currently charging? Now, last week we also talked about this, which was Xbox in Europe, specifically the consoles. Tom Warren wrote an article locked behind a paywall. And I'm all for people getting paid for the work that they do, but he wrote an article about Xbox in Europe and not really wanting to market, or not wanting to market there anymore for the console specifically, and wanting to market services like Game Pass and cloud and everything. But the issue I had with that was not that it was locked behind a paywall, but that it was very, very weak sourcing. He said that it was a tip that was unverified. It was essentially a non-story, in my opinion, but he locked it behind the paywall. So people were wondering, they got confused, or they were speculating as to what this meant for the console in Europe. And obviously asking Jez if he could confirm all this. And Jez says, for those asking me, I'm told Microsoft has no plans to pull Xbox out of retail in Europe. And then, of course, Tom Warren says that's not what was reported, which technically it wasn't. He was talking specifically about the marketing. But with it being locked behind the paywall, people aren't going to pay to read that. Honestly, for what that article was, they probably shouldn't have. And now we're at this point where there's questions about how Xbox is going to continue with the console in Europe. I wonder what their strategy is going forward. I'm not saying Tom Warren is going to be wrong at the end of the day. Maybe that tip does become verified and he is correct, but it wouldn't make sense right now to pull the console out of Europe when they're trying to open up as many avenues to get people to jump into Xbox Game Pass. They've already produced the consoles. That product is already there. You want to sell that. You want to get people to get into Game Pass. That way, especially with how cheap the Series S is and just the variety of games that they have on there with Call of Duty coming up, that's going to bring people in more ways than one. So I don't see it happening, at least not this generation, but maybe going forward, they decide, hey, let's just not even sell the consoles in these regions anymore if nobody is buying it. All right, let's talk about the First Descendant, a game that I've been playing a bit of, and I think it's actually very fun in terms of the gameplay. Don't really care about the story, don't really care about the characters, at least like about their background. I enjoy the different moves that the characters have and the different abilities, but the gameplay is what gets me hooked to games, and the First Descendant hits on those levels with the gunplay and just the abilities and the running around, and everything feels fast and tight and well made. And I think that's why a lot of people are playing the First Descendant, why they're enjoying it. And in the first 7 days, they've hit 10 million players. So this is another free-to-play game that is looking like it is going to be massive. I mean, if these player counts stay and they can continue to bring content, I believe that they will. But that is a huge number here for them, and I'm sure they're very happy with that. And it's another just way of the industry. Talking last week about the Game Pass comment about how that person who worked at that publisher, Ryan something, I forget the name to be honest, but the point was saying that he thought that Game Pass deteriorated perceived value in video games. That's why people don't buy games. And I disagree with that. I think one of the main reasons people aren't buying games, there are a couple of main reasons. One, the products are never complete and you're always having to update them, and that's very annoying. So gamers have had enough of spending $70 on broken games. And two, there's so many other products out there for free that you can play that you don't have to spend $70 on, that are fun and engaging, and people and those developers are bringing content towards those games. Yes, you're going to spend money eventually if you get so engrossed in it, but to start off, you can try it out and see if it is something you like. So this is another example of that with the First Descendant. All right, let's talk about Driver. Unfortunately, it's not about a new game. It would be cool if they ever brought back a new game, but Ubisoft says that it's actively working on Driver franchise projects, but its planned live action series has hit a road bump. So we don't really know what that means. It could be anything. Maybe it is a game, but right now we don't have any confirmed games in development. They say here plans for a live action series based on Ubisoft franchise Driver has been shelved. The company has confirmed, however, the company has claimed it's still planning projects related to the series despite no major game reveals in over a decade. So this may be something in the future we get an announcement for. Driver was one of those games that I played back on the PlayStation 1. It was a game that really got me into this series and to the driving aspects and to like the action that it was, and really cool. I really enjoyed it, and it's a staple from my past, so I would really love them to bring back a brand new one. But specifically, Ubisoft says we are no longer moving forward with our partnership with Binge for a Driver series, and that we are actively working on other exciting projects related to the franchise and can't wait to share more information in the future, whether that's a movie, another movie maybe, or a TV show or a game. I'm hoping it's a video game. I feel like at this point they're canceling a live action series. They probably aren't starting anything else in those mediums, and they're going to eventually be bringing out a brand new game. I think it would be smart. We're seeing a lot of companies out there reach into their back catalog and revitalizing IPs that people love and doing well with them. So I hope Ubisoft will do that as well. All right, let's talk Disney, because Disney, this is pretty big. They suffered a 1.1 terabyte data attack, or allegedly suffered it. They say various reports across social media have claimed that Disney has been hacked with 1.1 terabytes of data being compromised, and this is according to the group NoBulge. And the group has gained access to the company's internal Slack, in which 1.1 terabytes of data, including unreleased projects, concept arts, long details, and personal details, is said to have been compromised. And the group has not confirmed that the breach is legitimate, except that for a screenshot showing various files. Disney has also yet to respond to the comments of the alleged breach, and we'll see if this is true or not. There is an update to the story. It does look like it is real, but we'll see if more information does come out. And the reason why it potentially could be real here is because we're getting actually the first leak, and this is for Alien Fireteam Elite 2, that is appearing online because of this leak. It says a document which appears to contain information on the announced game is circulating on social media. The game is codenamed Project Macondo and is scheduled to release in Q3 of 2025. And the game will serve as a sequel to Aliens Fireteam Elite, featuring new modes such as Annihilation, which will be the game's spin on horde modes found in several other shooters. Now, I've never played this series. I don't really have an opinion on it, but it does seem like this is from those Disney releases, and that's why we are seeing this. I wonder if we're going to get more information on games because of that 1.1 terabyte hack that occurred at Disney. But if you're a fan of Alien Fireteam, looks like number 2 is in development. Now, when it comes to Bioshock, this one, I mean, I'm pretty excited for Bioshock 4, whatever Bioshock projects they have in the works, but some screenshots of service giving us a early look at the UI, shotgun, and more. You can kind of see them here. But 2K, they have confirmed that there is a Bioshock game in development. There is also potentially rumors that a remake of the first Bioshock game could be being worked on, because 2K is working on another unannounced game, and that one does kind of make sense. Maybe get people excited for Bioshock 4 by giving them a look at where the series began. But they say, of course, the image being unofficial, do expect things to change from this release. The image comes from a 2K visual effects artist, but for the sake of privacy, we were refraining from naming or linking their online profile. But you can go check out the picture yourself if you do want to see it. It looks pretty high resolution and can't really tell too much from it, but it does look like they are working hard at these details, and hopefully this thing is going to end up being really, really good. I'm excited for this. Bioshock, it's been long enough before now that this series has come back, or needs to come back, and it is on its way. And finally, let's talk about Crash 5, because it looks like Crash 5 was potentially canceled, which would be unfortunate if you're a Crash fan. But Crash 4 character designer implies that Crash 5 was canceled. And it says here on X, they were saying, someone tweeted, if this is Spyro, I'm going to be the most pissed off man who ever lived. And then a response to that from Nicholas Cole, who is a character design, illustration, and has worked on Spyro, Reignited, Crash Bandicoot 4, Sonic Prime, Lorcana. And he says here, response said, it is not Spyro, but someday folks will hear about Crash 5 that never was, and it's going to break hearts. And yeah, that sucks, because I'm a fan of the Crash series. But now that Activision is under Xbox, potentially they license out the IP to maybe a Toys for Bob or something. We know Toys for Bob is working independent, and they've made a partnership and a deal to work with Xbox on the next game. So people are thinking that is Spyro, but maybe when they're done that, they're like, hey, we have Crash 5. We've been thinking about making this. We'll give it to Toys for Bob again to go out there and make a brand new one in the series. I think, honestly, it's a no-brainer to put out a brand new Crash game now that they are under Xbox. People will eat that up. It'll be a great moment when they do announce it and eventually release it. So I hope that is still in the works for the future. I mean, Activision has so many great IPs they could get out of their back catalog, and I hope Xbox is sitting there and looking at it and not just trying to do what Activision was previously doing, which was focus on Call of Duty, and come out and just give us all of these great games that have been locked away. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.